Now, I'd forgive you if you thought that the vehicle behind me was an Audi, or more specifically, an Audi A4, and that's because it pretty much is, but this is actually a Seat Exeo, and it's the manufacturer's first take on an executive saloon. So let me show you around. Unlike fine wine, this car doesn't need decades to mature, because for a saloon as young as the car is, it's pretty impressive. Although the exterior design isn't as flamboyant as some other saloons out there, the latest Exeo model still offers a rather stylish appeal. And there's no surprises when you get to the interior of the Exeo. There's some very familiar features in here that are very clearly from the Audi VW group. For instance, the air vents, this rather jazzy cup holder. But that's not to say that this car is a bad idea, because although this is pretty much the older generation Audi A4, the amount of equipment that comes as standard with this Seat is pretty incredible. They get cruise control, USB and iPod connectivity, steering wheel mounted controls, dual zone climate control and loads of other gadgets. And that's only enhanced by the amount of storage that's available around the cabin. There's a very fair sized glove box which has got a second shelf in here. We've got a rather engaging cubby hole in the dashboard there that will keep you entertained for quite some time. We've got another little bit of storage here. We've got some more in the centre armrest, another one down here, and fair size side bins. So practical, full of equipment, which brings me on to the very last thing that I'm going to mention up front, and it's this very special button here. You push it and the sun shield comes up in the back. Push it again, it goes down. Push it again, comes up, and again goes down. Almost as engaging as that cubby hole. So let's see how the space is for the passengers. So to summarise appeal, we award 4 stars. The interior is comfortable and roomy, and the little gadgety touches make it feel a little bit plush. Unfortunately, this is where the car lets itself down a little bit, because there is limited room in the back. Now, as you know, I'm quite tall and I've got this seat set up for me, 6 foot plus, and there's virtually no leg room and very little headroom in the back of this vehicle, which is unfortunate. Now, we've also got quite a large transmission tunnel that runs through the centre of the cabin, so it's not ideal to sit in the middle seat because the space is restricted because of this rather large tunnel. But things are compensated for ever so slightly with this armrest, and you do know I love an armrest in the back, especially when they've got really cool cup holders in, which is enhanced by some more storage space in the centre. So although space is a little bit limited, there's some features that loosely compensate for it. For what the Exeo fails to deliver for its passengers, it makes up for in its boot. When you consider this Seat Exeo's DNA, it's no surprise that when you lift this hatch up, there's quite a practical and spacious boot, and that's only enhanced by the ability to fold these rear seats down. Very spacious. The fact that the Exeo is on par with the BMW 3 Series in terms of boot space means it must be doing something right. To summarise practicality, we award this car 4 out of the 5 available Motor Talk stars. Seat has had quite an overhaul in terms of efficiency over the last few years, with its economical engine technology really taking off. And that means that this particular 2-litre diesel engine emits just 117 grams per kilometre of CO2, whilst it's got 120 brake horsepower. This engine is available on the entry-level S model also. However, the most popular engine is likely to be the 143 brake horsepower variant of the 2-litre diesel, which still returns 57 miles per gallon and has fairly low emissions. So for performance, we award the Seat 4 out of the 5 available stars. Now, in terms of drive, the Exeo was quite comfortable and a responsive drive, especially on the motorway. However, it feels a little bit bumpy on winding country roads. If this really is a problem for you, then you could go for a stiffer suspension with the sports model, but for what it's worth, I personally wouldn't bother. Therefore, we award 3.5 out of the 5 available stars for the ride and handling category. For such a young saloon, the Seat Exeo has most of the vital criteria spot on. There are obviously a few tweaks that are needed here and there, but with a price tag of around £21,000, loads of standard kit and plenty of convenient storage space, you can't really complain. As there's still room for improvement, we give its ownership category 3.5 out of the 5 available stars. Overall, it's not a bad car. There's plenty of good points about it, such as the boot space and interior. It could handle the roads a little bit better, but if you're doing more motorway driving, then it certainly could be the car for you. We award the Seat Exeo Saloon 4 out of the 5 available Motor Talk stars. If you've got any thoughts on this car, then leave them in the comments box below. Alternatively, follow me on Twitter or subscribe to our YouTube channel.